Shout out to Mighty Jamie, man. Mighty Jamie is very smart. He's a very intelligent, brilliant person. I didn't know this how smart Mighty Jamie can be. And I'll give you an opportunity for him to explain to you how fucked we are in South Africa because of the decline and the collapse our country is facing, and nobody is talking about it because maybe they don't see it like that. They are fooled by the hype and the PR. But him explaining everything from the unemployment rate, from the dropout, people not even doing the STEM subject anymore, him speaking about the reason why there's lack of skills in South Africa, the government has to outsource, things like that. It's breaking it down in a very intelligent, articulate way. Of course, listen to this.
How can you provide for the skills that the country needs when 50,000 students and about 52,000 are passing maths and physics?
Yeah.
So the whole 52,000 is supposed to supply all 26 universities with enough students to do BSc, engineering, medicine. This is why we have a critical skills shortage.
Like the goal seems to be to stay still, and that's supposed to be some kind of achievement.
And for me, that's why I'm saying that there's no urgency. Because when you look at youth unemployment, right, quarter to quarter on the expanded definition, between 15 and 24, it's 70%. 3 out of 4 are unemployed.
It's a crisis.
Look at 25 to 35. It's 1 out of 2 are unemployed, right? Then you then consider, what are these young men doing in that time that they're unemployed, right? They're still going to be having relationships, making babies, and all of these other kinds of things. Some of them end up, taking substances. So many of the ills that we say we are identifying stem from the fact that you have a generation of people who either dropped out, didn't get high quality matric certificates, and are now sitting at home doing nothing. They say the idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I don't think that's necessarily 100% what I'm trying to imply here. But when you have so many people without economic opportunities, so many social ills are going to manifest. People are going to drink alcohol, they're going to take drugs, they're going to have unprotected sex, they're going to be in communities being unproductive. That's going to create a lot of the social ills, and many of them are going to then end up having to depend on the welfare system to sustain themselves, especially if they're in long-term unemployment. When I looked at the numbers of long-term unemployment, I think the number went up from 3.2 million in 2024 to about 6.4 million or thereabouts, people in long-term unemployment. So it's almost doubled, right? So if you are dealing with high crime rates, high unemployment rates, 40% dropout rates, right? To mention just a few.
Yeah.
You're not coming into this game with the luxury of taking your time, chilling, even though the rugby team is doing well, even though we've got some teams doing well here and there, I feel like the social issues are so significant that what we ought to have seen in the 100 days of the administration was movement at pace. We needed to see people with urgency. And if you look at some of the government departments, some of the ministers haven't even staffed their full ministerial office. So where's the urgency?
Yeah.
Where's the urgency? So when I'm asked that question about the performance of the cabinet, 1, I don't see the urgency. 2, I don't see the ambition. I saw a video today. Kim Kardashian was talking to a Tesla robot. The Tesla robot didn't seem to really understand what she was saying, but it was out in the field, able to be operated. It's not where it needs to be for it to be iRobot or whatever. But if you look at the technological developments that have been happening in the world, you have robots in the wild.
People are building humanoid robots out here.
In the wild now. They're out.
Yeah.
These are not experiments from 20 years ago when we were just looking at primitive robot competitions. You look at what's happening with OpenAI.
Yeah.
You look at what's happening with Perplexity. All of these other AI-based systems. Apple has a phone now, which even though it's not fully integrated. The phone now has artificial intelligence integrated into the phone. We are in the first year of this technology, but it's worrying to me when I look at, and let me just extend this beyond just South Africa. When I look at African politicians, I don't see any appreciation from them about the fast changing environment, which is not going to only affect manufacturing. It's going to affect knowledge production. It's going to affect a lot of sectors. They are acting as if it's 1999 or 2009 when it's 2024 and Elon Musk is launching robots that can re-enter the environment and be reused. The scientific advancements that we are seeing in the West do not warrant a lack of urgency in the African ecosystem. And have we seen any minister having real conversations about the scientific advancements, what we need to catch up? When I read books like How Europe Underdeveloped Africa or Guns, Germs and Steel, which are popular books that I reference when we're talking about underdevelopment in Africa, the key message, even if you want to add why nations fail, the key message is that technology is a factor in the underdevelopment of a society. So at all times, you must stay on top of the technology as a community, as a people. If there's new stuff coming in that is changing how stuff is made, produced, distributed, consumed, you have to be on top of that. Otherwise, those technological advancements will render your society obsolete and you won't be able to generate revenue, income, etc. When I look at the cabinet and I look at the discourse that we're having, and I look at the goals that are being expressed, I'm not seeing goals that are commensurate to the technological developments in the world and the needs. There's a lack of ambition. You know, what made Kennedy a unique guy is that he came and said, we can go to the moon, to the Americans. They were like, what? The moon? Why are we trying to? But it was about aiming high and setting a high bar. Elon is talking about going to Mars, right? They may or they may not be able to do that in his lifetime.
Sure.
The point that I'm making is, when you're a leader or a group of leaders coming into a situation, you have to show that you believe in the capacity of the state, you believe in the capacity of the people, and you believe in the capacity of your team to turn things around to a winning combination. Soccer coaches are fired for lack of ambition. If you go coach Manchester United now and you say, you think 8th is a good place to end the season, you won't be there next week.
Well, I mean, I think that's where Man United will end. But that's besides the point, yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say. So this is my view on the performance. But there's another thing that I want to discuss there, which is, I touched on it a little bit, but it's the HR element. Every minister operates through a team. You cannot be everywhere. You are the decision maker, the